Hey, everybody. Happy Friday. Thank you so much for stopping by and joining me on today's live stream. This is episode 29. I can't believe it. I committed to doing 30 days of a live stream, started with LinkedIn. Then, as I got braver, I moved to YouTube. And finally, where I was chickening out the most was Facebook. I can go live in front of 6 million strangers, but going live in front of family and friends on Facebook is definitely the most intimidating. I will definitely say that. But anyway, I made it all the way to episode 29. And actually, next Tuesday is going to be my final episode. It'll be a wrap up. I'll talk about the different episodes, the takeaways, some comments from people who have been watching and are new. And I think it will be a lot of fun. So, today's episode, I wanted to talk about 10 simple ways to stay fabulous for fall. And I've got a little homemade, you can see my lipstick here. My homemade, I hate that. I hate lipstick on a coffee cup, don't you? It drives me crazy. So anyway, I'll put it this way. But I have a little homemade pumpkin spice latte. I've got this amazing organic coffee that I love. And I use a coconut milk creamer. And I use just simply organic pumpkin pie spice. This is the 365 brand from Whole Foods. And then to make it fun, I top it off with a little bit of Ready Whip. And I use the non-dairy, the coconut, not the almond. I think that tastes better. And I've got an amazing pumpkin spice latte here. So I'm going to have a little bit of this to get me in the mood to talk about fall, right? Because fall starts officially next week. Actually, the first day of fall is on Yom Kippur. So I will be doing that last episode on Tuesday, not Monday, because of course I'll be totally disconnected from technology for 24 hours or so. Hi, Levon. Thanks so much for joining. So today I really wanted to talk about fall because you know that I am all about if you're going to get more healthy, if you want to change, your wellness, if you want to lose weight, you have to start with food. Right? You have to get your food right. You have to understand what you're eating, when you're eating, get your calories right, get your macros right. It's important. You don't have to maybe track those things forever, but if you really don't know where you're at, how can you possibly figure out a plan to get you where you're going, right? But second is definitely fitness. I mean, you can't out exercise a bad diet. So that's why food is first. But fitness, it's still right there. Number 2, you have to deal with it. And depending on where you are this time of year, it could be a little bit different in how you feel about outdoor activity. Now, I'm a fall baby. My 50th birthday coming up. I keep talking about it. I'm so excited. It's coming up next month. And I think that I just love, because of that time of year. I think that's why I love fall, the crispness of the air. Growing up in Maine, there was always a lot of leaves and you had the changing colors. And the only thing I didn't like about fall was chopping wood. Julie, do you remember splitting and chopping wood and stacking it? Not my favorite thing to do, but great exercise. But I just love fall. So if you are in the northern part of the world, definitely days are already getting shorter. I'm based down in Georgia, so I'm already seeing the daylight shifting though. So today what I wanted to do is I wanted to give you guys some ideas, talk about how you can get your daily movement in, get your steps in, get your pedals in, no matter what you are doing, because it's so important. Not only the workouts that we do, but how we're moving throughout the day. That's what keeps us healthy, both mentally and physically. It helps us with our blood sugar management. I've talked about that a lot in these episodes. It helps us with our metabolic flexibility, right? So just making sure that we are moving our bodies, not only in a workout, but throughout the day, is really the key to achieving consistent fitness and a better state of fitness. And I'm definitely all about that. And if you are like me, where you are, well, you're either in perimenopause or you're like me, you're fully transitioned into menopause, right? I don't think there's a post-menopause. It just means when you're in menopause, you're in menopause, right? You haven't had your period for 12 months. Boom. Your hormones have fallen off a cliff. You are more susceptible to osteoporosis. You're more susceptible to losing muscle. You can lose up to 8% of muscle a year. Hi, Osmond. Thanks for joining. And so it's super important, again, to make sure you're eating right, having enough protein, and doing enough things to move your body so that you can keep your muscle tone. Okay. So, if you are, I'm going to break this up, I guess. I said I would do 10 ways. I'll probably do a little bit more than that, but I want to break it up into like kind of indoor and outdoor activities because right now in Georgia, we are in a stretch of the most beautiful weather. It's like, I don't know, high 50s, low 60s Fahrenheit in the morning, and then it's getting up to 80, 81, 82. So beautiful, right? So beautiful. So it's a perfect time to get out because all that heavy, sticky humidity that we've been dealing with is gone. If you're in the north, maybe this is time where you're getting your flannels out, right? You're wearing long sleeves and being comfortable. Whatever it is, definitely just walking outdoors as much as you can is such a good thing, right? If you want to think about steps, right? How much should I be walking? If you are really trying to get fitter, ladies like me, you really want to be between 10 and 15,000 steps a day. It's true. It's 15,000 can be a lot. If you have never tracked your steps and you're not really working right now, just kind of look where you're at, look at your phone. You know, there's probably your fitness ring or your health ring is going to track your steps for you, or you're wearing your watch, right? Whatever it is, whatever brand. Figure out your steps and then just make a goal to increase your steps each week by 1,000. That's the simplest way to do it, right? Depending upon where you are, again, as we think about the days getting shorter and being darker and whatnot, you may have to change your schedule for when you're walking, right? So if you are used to getting up early and walking, or you're doing it after work, you may want to switch that to lunchtime. And, if you have standing team meetings, then why not ask your boss, hey, can we move that meeting? Because I really want to take a walk at lunch. Maybe do some sort of team activity where you're walking with some of your teammates, right? There's all kinds of things that we can do that way. So changing your walking time to maybe middle of the day is a great way to do this. Jeff, what are you saying? Yes, must make the all-powerful knowing Apple Watch happy. Yes, exactly. Or my fitness rings, it will tell me, right? If I'm not doing it. So walking at lunchtime is great. All my dog lovers, my dog owners out there, no matter what, you have to get up and take the dog out anyway. So, enjoy this, make it a ritual. Bundle up, get outside, move that body, right? For me, I really love hiking outdoors this time of year. I don't like hiking in the summer in the South. It's just too darn hot, right? And if you're in the woods or whatnot, it's buggy, it's humid, you're not getting a breeze. This is the time of year that we go, right? There's beautiful waterfalls going into North Georgia. It's gorgeous. This is absolutely the right time to hike. So there could be groups on your social media platform. I belong to Girls Who Hike group here in Atlanta. And so there's a bunch of us. So somebody will get together and say, hey, I want to do this walk next week, or I want to do this hike. Who wants to join me? And we'll go and we'll do that together, which is a lot of fun. So lots of ways where you can, add some fun, add some, conversation to it. It doesn't always have to be a solo activity, right? So the other thing though is if it is a solo activity, you have two choices, really. You can use that time as kind of inputs, right? Where you are listening to your favorite podcast, you're listening to music, or you can use that time as what I like to call processing time, right? Because we're taking in so many inputs all the time, sometimes just walking, listening to the cars, listening to kids' laughter in the distance, listening to the wind in the trees, the distant sounds, right? Just doing that and letting things gel in your brain is really effective, especially if you are somebody who's constantly on conference calls, constantly on the go, constantly trying to make decisions. You need that time just to let your brain be still, or at least that conscious part where you're directing it. Unconsciously, in the background, subconsciously, right? You're processing all that information. And for me, that's when my best ideas happen, right? That is absolutely when my best ideas happen. Who else loves that? Right? Comment below if you are a walker, when you like to walk. What are you doing? Are you listening to music? Are you listening to a podcast? What? I want to know. Jeff, put that comment on there. You walking, buddy? I want to know. Osman, are you walking? Lavon? So what are some other things that you can do outside? Oh my gosh. We always, I would love to go apple picking when I was a kid. That was like fall is here. You get out, get on your favorite sweater, you go, you pick apples, you're outside with friends, you're drinking apple cider, you're having spice cookies or, molasses cookies, something really good. That is something amazing that always marked fall. We're getting our pumpkins, right? Going to the pumpkin patch. Again, just being outside, right? So we've covered walking, all kinds of different ways of walking, hiking, doing that, apple picking, doing that. Walking at lunch, inviting coworkers to walk with you. Sorry, the light is just changing crazy in my office. I have all my windows open, my shades open. What about though? Let's see. Oh, there is a very cool app which I have used in some programs with some of my clients and some group coaching. It's called Step Bet, and Step Bet is amazing because you're betting on yourself. It's not gambling. Okay. This isn't game of chance. Step Bet is an app where you can join walking contests with others. And you basically have to pay in whatever it is, $10, $20 or whatever. And you plug in however you're tracking your steps. The app calculates and says, okay, this is your average walking. And then it gives you like your target for your average days. And then it gives you 2 challenge days. And then it gives you 1 day off a week. And so every day you have to make your steps by walking. There's no cheating. It's coming right from your watch, your phone, whatever you say the source of your steps is. And then at the end of it, say there's 100 people in and everybody put in, $10, right? Well, at the end, if only 10 people committed, got their steps in, those 10 people share the pot. So you see why it's not gambling, right? It's all up to you and your activity, but there's a little cash reward at the end. I got to tell you, this really made me get out and get my steps. Like I would track it throughout the day. And if after dinner I didn't have enough, I was putting on my coat and getting outside and walking around the neighborhood until I made my steps for that day. And when it was raining, I was walking through the house. I have 3 levels, right? So I just kept walking up and down the stairs until I got my steps in. Right. So important. So if you're into something like that, actually, I could run a step bet challenge. Who would want to join a step bet challenge with me? One of my really good friends, Jennifer Moretz, actually, she introduced me to this, and we all had a blast doing it. So Osman, what are you saying? Exercising with body weights every 5 minutes while walking will improve the quality of the exercise. Well, it definitely will increase your heart rate. And yes, getting a little bit of that strength training in there, that's so important. I like, even when you say every 5 minutes, it reminds me, I like the concept of doing something like an exercise snack, right? I've talked about this before. I think it's one, if you go to my website, jenochnan.com, on my free resources, my 10 tips, I talk about exercise snacks where you set your alarm for every hour or 2 hours to make sure that you're getting up and you're moving your body. And it could just be get up and you do 10 squats, get up and go, walk outside and take the dog out, walk the block, whatever it is, so that again, you're encouraging that movement throughout the day. But yes, I believe, adding weights is a great way to add to the intensity of the walking. All right, Jeff's got something here. So Jess, you like to walk by the lake, listening to the birds, state park campground, always something going on, smells good. Yes. Oh, perfect. State parks are beautiful. Ladies, always be situationally aware. Actually, I was just talking to a neighbor this morning because her and I walked to the gym today together, which was so nice. It's only a half a mile away. So there's no sense jumping in the car, right? Beautiful day. I walked to my legs and glute workout and walked home. Perfect. But what she was saying is she had to house sit for her brother out in Boulder, Colorado. Tough gig, right? So she had 3 weeks to be kind of by herself. And she said that she would hike like 5 days a week and that it was really safe because there was just women out everywhere hiking. So yes, take advantage of state parks, national parks, as much as you can to be outside. Okay. So I was talking about step bet. So let me know in the comments if I started a step bet challenge here, would you join? Would you want to do that? Because I can set them up for any lengths. I can set them up for any amount of time in terms of the buy-in. But is that something you'd like to do? Most of them are generally like 2 weeks or 4 weeks. There's some that are a lot longer, but those are the most common durations. I don't think you can do anything shorter than a 2-week span. So in the comments, if you want to do a step bet challenge, type in step bet, and I will definitely look into setting that up based on the interest. So of course, there's also things that you can do to move your body that don't involve walking, right? So getting on your bike. What a beautiful time of year to go for a bike ride, right? One of my favorite memories is when we went to Aspen 2 years ago. We rented bikes and we did bike riding everywhere. It was literally one of the happiest days, right? One of the happiest days I had. In fact, if you saw the cover image for this event that I put up, this was when my hubby and I were out on a hike, and that was in Aspen as well. What a beautiful place. That is definitely a happy, happy place for me. So bike riding outside. And let's see, bike riding inside, right? If we switch over to indoor activities, who's got a Peloton bike? I do. I love my Peloton bike. As much as I'm walking, because I want to make sure I have my steps, I love getting on my bike to do either some low impact rides, fasted cardio. I only do that low impact to make sure that I'm not spiking my blood sugar, my cortisol levels in the morning, but a really nice 20, 30, 40-minute low impact ride where I could still carry on a conversation while I'm biking, which for me is generally between, 110 to 130 beats per minute. That's a great activity, right? Okay, so let's talk about, it is 20 after 12, right? So if you guys are just watching, or if you're watching on the replay, please put in #replay. Thank you so much for joining. Let's talk about indoor activities, because some days it's just cold out, right? It's just cold and rainy, or depending on where you are, it could be snowing, right? I think I saw in the forecast that out in the west, in the mountains, they were looking at snow starting already. So what can you do on the inside if you want to move? Number one, do those exercise snacks like I talked about, making sure that you're getting up. Some people have walking desks. I don't have one, but I think those are amazing, or at least even standing desks. Those are super helpful as well. If you do have a conference call where you're mostly, listening and pondering, walking around the house, doing laundry, while you're on mute, please be on mute. I think we've all mastered the art of working at home and being on a conference call and doing other things. Though, did everybody see that video that they had on YouTube about the embarrassing things that people were doing when they thought nobody was looking? Oh my gosh, hilarious. I'm sure it's still on there. But yes, take advantage of it. If you're on a conference call and you're just listening, then be walking around the house. Still be focused, of course. I'm not saying that, but walk around the house, right? Or if you live in a condo, if you live in a high rise, if you're in dorms, depending on how old you are, right? Why are you not taking advantage of the gym? Most gyms, even if they're not very good, have a treadmill or elliptical or some sort of stepper, right? This is the time to take advantage of it if you can't get outside. Super, super important. Dr. Christelle. Oh, hey, Dr. Christelle, you joined. That's awesome. I love it. Jeff, you joined too. October challenge with steps. You know what? Here, I was thinking about that. So we're going to be flying to Austria for my 50th birthday trip. I don't know. Early October, and then we're back like mid-October. So I was trying to think about, wow, if I did a step bet challenge on those days that I was flying, could I possibly get my steps in? And yes, airports, there's definitely a lot of walking that could be going on. So yeah, I think if people are interested, definitely put that in. Put in step bet, say step challenge in the comments, and I'll think about starting one up just shortly, right? It's already the 22nd. So using your indoor gym, right? Got to do it. It's perfect. If you have a bigger fitness club membership, right? Of course, you can take advantage of all the equipment in there. It's really nice. I used to be a member of the sporting club on Windy Hill. If anyone's in the Atlanta area, you know this club. They have a gorgeous indoor walking track. That is a great way to get your steps in for sure. Get some movement in, because depending on where you are in your journey and what you're doing with your workouts, right? Like, I think I've shared this on here before. My workout routine now, I've definitely made some changes. Because of my hormones, because I don't want to overstress my body, get that cortisol rocking, get that blood sugar rocking, impact my thyroid, right? Impact my overall sex hormones in a negative way. I have stopped doing any sort of HIIT workouts, which are super high intensity, right? Where you're breathing so hard after the workout, you're like going to drop on the floor. I've stopped doing those. Those aren't right for me right now. I love doing them. Don't get me wrong. I feel super accomplished, but they're not great. Heavy strength, reformer Pilates, walking and biking. Right? The best. That's what I'm doing right now, mixing that up, and I'm absolutely loving it. So yes, so get into your gym. So many of you, or when I talk to women and I ask them, so what are you doing for your workout routine? Well, I'm in a gym, but I'm not really going. So then you're a member donor, I say. People are like, oh my gosh, I guess you're right. Yeah, if you are paying for a gym membership and you're not using it, you are a member donor. So you have the membership and you're just donating your money to them. Stop doing that. That's crazy. If you don't like your gym, then get in there into the office and cancel your membership and find a place that you do like, right? There is no sense in wasting money if you don't like the gym, because some gyms are, a little too macho, a little too loud, just not the right vibe. Depending on where you are in the country, like Atlanta is a big market for this. There's so many specialty fitness studios that are amazing. There was also, oh gosh, I can't think of it right now. If anyone knows this, let me know. There was also a membership that you can join where they like all these different fitness studios and clubs were on there. So they'd have all their classes, and you could pay like $50 a month, and then you'd have access to all of the little boutique fitness studios around you. So you could just drop in on workouts when you wanted. That is fun. I really recommend doing something like that if you don't like your current gym, or you want to change things up. You want to try some different workouts. Something like that is perfect. I cannot think of the name right now. When we're off the broadcast, I will search for it and I will put it in the comments. But I did that, and I used that for like, I don't know, 6 months. And I got to try all these cool places all around Atlanta, met some new people, tried some different workouts. It was a lot of fun, right? It's a lot of fun. So you've got to do things that interest you. If you don't like to walk, then fine. Just find something else to move your body, because let's face it, right? Depression, suicide rates, seasonal affective disorder, these things are all real. When you exercise, what happens? Your endorphins start flowing. It gives you energy, increases your mood. So the benefits of exercise are undeniable. Okay, so the question you have to ask yourself is, why are you denying yourself the benefit? I know some days, it's 30 degrees out and it's sleeting outside. It's not the best time to do it. So what? Almost everybody has some sort of smart TV now with a million different options. Like my Peloton, I can get to the Peloton app from my TV, and they have a ton of great workouts. They could be body weight only workouts, small mat workouts, something, but there's always a choice. There is a million. YouTube, millions of free workouts, right? There is literally no excuse if you can't go outside your house why you can't do it. Think about it. During the pandemic, when all the gyms were shut down, you couldn't buy a set of barbells. Everybody was out of stock. So pull out that equipment that you bought during the pandemic and get ready to start using it again, right? If you like swimming, indoor pools, right? YMCAs. There's so many great options. And again, I think the energy is so much better, right? It's that change in energy, where fall for me is a time to start something new, to make progress on something. My brain gets all fired up. This is a high energy, high creative, high productive time for me, right? Make it be that same for you. Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? So Jeff, what's your favorite workout? I want to know. Put it in the comments. Dr. Christelle, what do you like to do? What's your favorite ways that you're going to stay fit for fall? And if you're joining on the replay, I want to know that too. Let's get some really good ideas on here. Osman, what do you like to do besides walking? You said you like to exercise with your body weight. I'm reading the comments here. Exercising with body weight every 5 minutes while walking. Perfect. What else do you like to do, Osman? And Levon, you're on here. Levon, what do you like to do? Oh, and you put all your credentials in here too from LinkedIn. Very cool. So Levant is clearly into the IT space. Very nice. So, okay. So has anybody tried Reformer Pilates? If you haven't, I will tell you the benefits. I am so much more flexible. And after I do a Pilates reformer workout, I literally feel like I could lift a mountain because I'm so warmed up. I'm so flexible. My joints are lubricated, right? I mean, the flexibility and the strength increase. This is only my third week of Pilates. It has been just 100% change. I can't believe how effective it is. So I'd done mat Pilates for a while, but I really love the reformer Pilates. So if you have an opportunity to try that, lots of places will give free sessions too, free assessments. I mean, there is no end of the possibilities that you could do to keep yourself fit for fall, right? Doctor, I love doing power yoga. Ooh, I don't know if we can do specific names either. I don't care. It's fine. I talked about Lifetime, my club. They're not paying me, so it's fine. Power yoga is amazing. Just amazing. I call Pilates yoga adjacent. It is, right? It's all about really, really being focused on those small muscles, being focused on posture, right? So I do think a mix of activities to increase your strength, your flexibility, your mobility, right? I want to be mobile for life. I want to be able to pick my suitcase up off the carousel at the airport and not worry about pulling a muscle, right? I want to be able to do this now and 30 years from now. So that's why I love this increase in this different type of movement that I'm doing. Live classes on Zoom, more motivated. Well, good. That's fantastic. I think there was a lot of people doing Zoom workouts during the pandemic and they got very good. I don't know if a lot of people still do those or not, but if they are and you're doing, that's fantastic. That's fantastic. So that was it. This is my 29th episode of my 30 Days of Wellness Lives. If you're just joining me for the first time, I'm so glad you caught them. So Tuesday will be kind of my wrap up, and I'm going to share some thoughts about how this experience went, and I'll share them in another post, another few posts too. Liam Darmody, I'm going to work with him, and he's going to do some analytics for me so we can see what I learned in terms of viewership, things like that. But if you want to catch any of these, they are definitely on. All of them are completely on my LinkedIn profile page. You just have to go to the page and scroll over, click events, and boom, they're all there. I had also started a LinkedIn business page called Shift into Health. And I'm not putting any regular posts on there, at least for right now. It's going to be all live streams. So you can go right there and scroll right down. For the ladies, I do have a free group right here on LinkedIn. Dr. Christelle, I would love to have you join us. I've been putting the live streams in there as well as extra content, and we get into some deeper conversations on these. What's said in the group stays in the group, kind of like Vegas. If you comment or ask questions, it can only be seen by group members. It's very safe. It doesn't show up on your normal LinkedIn wall. And again, I shared all of these to YouTube. And then I'm also sharing the last week or so episodes on Facebook. So trying to make this available, trying to share some thoughts, just trying to put some good energy out there in terms of changing the narrative on understanding what it means to be well, right? It's not just about conventional medicine. I believe everybody should have a functional practitioner in their lives. We really have to look at lifestyle factors because they all contribute to the top 3 and 4 causes of mortality. It's all about the food that we're eating, the movement we're doing, the sleep we're getting, the stress we're managing, and yes, taking advantage of detoxing your body as we're constantly inundated with all these different chemicals and pollutants. We have to help our body so it can do what it wants to do, and it's got the fuel and the nutrients to do that. Okay. And for my ladies who are over 40 and who are, or 50 or 60, so wherever you are on that peri or menopause journey, there are so many things that you can do to make sure that your journey is more one of ease and grace and energy versus stress and overwhelm and exhaustion. Right. And that's my specialty. That's what I love to do. I've been there. I am there, right? I had the hormonal chaos when I came off a lifetime of birth control, and it totally rocked my world. And so all the solutions and everything that I've tried, I put all of that, I distilled all of that knowledge into a program that's very, very strategic so that you can build those strong foundations and you can stay healthy because we are living longer, right? When we hit menopause, it doesn't mean we're going to kick the bucket, 5 or 10 years later, right? We hit menopause at 50. We've got another 30, 40, 50 years maybe left of living. And we want to feel our best. We want to do our best. We're not having our period anymore. Yay. So it's time to do other things, right? It's another phase of life. If we have kids, they're kind of moved on. They're more independent. They're doing their own thing, right? So it is a change of identity for us, right? We're not just mom or stepmom, right? Needs to be there and all the things, right? We're wife or career woman, we're business owner, but then it's time to explore some things that maybe you've never explored, right? To satisfy that curiosity itch. Maybe you want to go take some different classes, take some cooking classes, try new things, do more trips, whatever it is. To be able to do those things and to feel good about doing them, you have to have a strong foundation of health underneath you. Right. So I hope that I've inspired you, guy or gal, through these lives. I hope you all have a fantastic weekend. And I thank you so much for joining me today. Take care. And I'll see everybody right here live, 12 p.m. Eastern on Tuesday. Take care, everyone.